make stops. All them stops is different teams, right? Every time that train stops, it's just a different team. But what happened to the train when the doors closed? It's on to the next one. It's on to the next one. So that train don't care who in this way, and unfortunately sometimes people die, but that train don't care who in this way, whoever in this way gonna get what?
Ran over.
Ran over. That's how I want y'all to think. Same way about your, no matter what that teacher give you, but this assignment about to get ran over. Because I'm an Olympian. And I put in the work. Does that make sense? Like, and if y'all don't understand that, it's another team that do. Because we talk about the hard way, it's going to be them teams in the fourth quarter where it get hard. And it's a nose-to-nose battle. It's going to be who's going to be the toughest to come out. And it ain't the toughest like this with them push-ups or whatever, right? It's who's going to be tough here. Who's going to say, we going to win because we put in the work. The train can't go if everybody ain't on the same track, right? The train can't go if it ain't on the track. So if one of y'all is not on the same page as everybody else, the train don't move. Or the train, what happens when the train goes off the track? It's called what? Derail. Train that derail, can it ever get to its destination?
No, sir.
So if y'all walk around here and y'all late to class, the train derails. If y'all getting bad grades, the train derails. Because he just gave me 100, but it took y'all to help him to that last 50, right?
Yes,
Period. So if one person ain't doing what's supposed to be done, that's where the accountability comes in. Don't be late to class. Don't get written up. Pull your pants up. Like, it ain't hard. And when y'all learn how to do what you're supposed to do, you can do whatever you want to do. All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey. I want to welcome you to another episode of Lunch and Learn. So this is another episode of Lunch and Learn, and today, right, let's really get down to some business that can not only help you understand things a little bit different, but really help your athlete. So today, I want to pour into a team that I've grown to love over the years, right? Like, I want to really lean into this team, this Boston Celtics team. Now, I'm going to get a disclaimer, right? I'm not condoning any illegal behavior from anyone. I'm just going to speak on what my concern, what my issue is with the Boston Celtics and the whole thing with their coach, Udoka, I believe that's his name, right? But not only with the coach, but what's really happening of how Boston Celtics organization has handled this thing. So first things first, you have a coach who had an outside relationship with somebody other than his partner, right? We know Nia Long. Now, it's come out. They're saying he's going to be suspended. Some are even saying that he's probably done with basketball. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is my frustration with how the Boston Celtics has handled this with the women involved. See, because it's about how you treat players, right? Players play for coaches. They don't play for schools. They don't play for programs. Your athlete, they should want to play for the coach first, then the team, then probably the institution or the program. But most coaches are playing for the coach and then those around them and then the organization. Well, you play for those people that you believe in, right? And you work for those people that you believe in. So these young ladies that are in question, they believed in this organization, probably believed in this coach also. But this is my issue. Why hasn't the Boston Celtics come out and protected the women that weren't involved? The first few days, we had different women being posted in speculation that this was who had the outside relationship. Now, these are all grown people. So it has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with your athlete, or nothing to do with the sports shows. Has nothing to do with it. Yes, it's news, but none of us has nothing to do with it. These are all grown people. So the Boston Celtics should do what they have to do for the betterment of those people in their organization that trust them. Coaches have to do what's right and for the betterment of those players and those people in their program. So if your athlete is playing for a program or a coach that is not doing things in the best interest of everyone in the program, you're probably in the wrong program. You're probably playing for the wrong school, probably playing for the wrong coach. All right. I failed to put welcome to the show up here, right? Let me know what city and state that you're watching this class from today. But here's the thing. You don't treat people the way that Boston Celtics has treated these women. At some point, somebody, PR, has to come out and say the women being posted are not the women in question. And even if they are, they still have to protect those women. And the only way to protect those women is to come up with another story, the next story, or what happens after this. Don't keep allowing for time to go past and these women's faces be plastered on social media or on the news as this is the person that was having an adult relationship with somebody else. I just think it was kind of tasteless of the Boston Celtics to not come out and protect those women. Like, I really think that's tasteless. I think it's tasteless for any coach not to protect their players, for any organization or program not to protect those people that are part of the program. So that's the first thing, right? It's the wrong women. But then now, how are you treating the rest of your players? How are you treating those people within the organization? Because now those people are seeing. If your athlete is having a problem with their program or their team or their coach, it may have a lot to do with what's going on with them. But I bet you, as my grandmother used to say, I bet you $1 to a bucket of poop, that most of their frustration is coming from how they saw somebody else being treated. See, a lot of times that's where the frustration comes in. So now that I've said all this about the Boston Celtics, what does this have to do with your athlete? Well, I'm glad you asked. See, your athlete is the brand. Your athlete is their own brand, not Nike, not Apple, not Samsung. Your athlete is their own brand. So how is your athlete representing their own brand? Now we're talking about Boston Celtics, but we're also talking about the coach himself. He was building up his brand from assistant to head coach. And then in an instant, he tarnished his brand. What is your athlete doing? Well, first of all, does your athlete really understand that they are the head and the face of their own brand? It's not Nike or none of this. They are their own brand. So what are they doing daily? What habits do they have daily? What patterns are they following daily that's going to either help their brand or hurt their brand? See, because when a coach is coming in looking at an athlete, yes, they're looking at how they play, but they're also looking at how they comport themselves, how they represent themselves, because ultimately how they represent themselves or their brand, it's an indication of how they're going to represent your brand. Does that make sense? Right? So if you have Nike sweatpants hanging off your butt, and that's how you represent Nike's brand, well, it's probably no guarantee, it's like no surprise, because your athlete is probably doing the same thing for their brand. So as I have my notes up here, right, and as I make all of this make sense, one, be mindful of how you treat those around you, employees, players, coaches, staff, because those people work harder for those people in which they believe in. And they believe in those people in which they trust. And when that trust is broken,
or that belief is gone, that's when stress, frustration, or all hell breaks loose. But going back to this coach and his brand and him tarnishing his brand, he now understands the business side of basketball. And this is what I want you and your athlete to understand, the business side of basketball. Most coaches, they're going to use your athlete until they can't use them anymore. I'm going to say it again. They're going to use your athlete until they can't use them anymore. They're going to use your athlete to help them and their brand enhance and excel. They're going to use your athlete to score points, to win games, to enhance their career. Or they're going to use your athlete because your athlete, listen, everybody on scholarship or on the team ain't on the team because they can play. Some are on the team because they got good grades. So they're going to use your athlete because they're a good student till they can't use them no more. Because now that good student helps the team grade point average when one of the best players is a horrible student and he's really not a student at all. And the coach is not making or holding them accountable to be a student because I got somebody else that's going to balance it out. So don't allow for your athlete to be used until they can't be used anymore. And this is what a lot of athletes find out. Like, man, if I ain't scoring, if I'm hurt, or when I'm not able to play, or when I'm having a bad game, these things happen. But they can't use you no more. So they have no use for you. Does that make sense? But when you're your own brand, when your athlete understands they're representing their brand, right? Now they're putting themselves in a position to be useful, not to be used. Does that make sense? Right? And then the final point is, and this is what the coach had to understand. So again, from the Boston Celtics, but from the coach. He was his own brand. He tarnished his brand. That's one. Don't let your athlete tarnish their brand. Two, don't allow your athlete to be used up until they can't be used anymore. If anything, it's going to be a use situation. I would tell my athletes, I understand you're using me for a free education. So I'm using you to win some basketball games. But since it's mutual, now let's go out and let's be as successful as possible. Now, for those individuals that understood that they were being blessed and they had an opportunity, well, now it's a different mutual relationship because I'm in it to help you and you're in it to help us. Not help me, but to help us. But for those individuals that was just using me to get a jersey, to get a girlfriend, well, I'm going to use you too. But don't allow your athlete to unwillingly be used. And the third and the final point is, and I'm not sure if it was Pastor John Hanna, I believe, right? Pastor out of Chicago. He stated, don't let your talent take you someplace that your character can't keep you. So what does that mean, right? A lot of players, because you as a parent, a lot of times you think that if my athlete can score, if they can dunk a basketball, but then you're confused because they aren't being recruited. Well, when I talk about being the right recruit, it goes well beyond basketball. And most of the people here, you understand that, which is why you keep coming back every time you get a notification that Coach Bailey is on live, or when Coach Bailey does a workshop, right? Or when Coach Bailey has a virtual conference. The same people show up and show up and show up. The only people that show up and leave abruptly are those people that feel like that the only way that their athlete can go to the next level is they have to score bunches and bunches and bunches of points. That's not the case. Because those athletes, we just said, they can score a lot of points. He or she probably don't have good grades. So now coach has to take somebody else that can't play, but is an A or B student to help balance those grades out. Just a lot to go into this whole recruitment process. But when I say, is your athlete the right recruit? Is your athlete the right recruit for this school, this program, this coach? And a lot of times, players with good talent or even average talent never get as far as they would like to get because where they're going, their character cannot sustain it. Their character cannot sustain them. I'm sitting in the class now, right? For those that know, you already know, I'm a teacher by trade, right? I'm a teacher. I teach basketball, but I also teach history, social studies, economics, those things in class with students every day. However, right, what I used to get my players to understand is you only need one offer, and that's the right offer for the right program that suits you. So parents, don't be worried about the transfer portal. Don't be worried about high school athletes aren't getting looked at. They are, but they're being looked at by the right fit. But a lot of players that can play, no coach wants them on their team because they're a cancer and they're a detriment to the team because their character cannot keep them at that level. This is what we saw with the Boston Celtics coach. He found out that his talent couldn't take him to a level that his character was not able to sustain him. He went to the NBA Finals. Imagine what happened if he would have won the championship. See, the more success that your athlete gets, the more hordes, right? I didn't say whores, I said hordes, D, right? The more hordes come. The more success, the more challenging it is. And if your athlete is not mentally strong, is not mentally tough, is not aware of who they are, how they operate, how they behave, they're going to always fall backwards. And this is literally what we explain and teach to our parents and our athletes that are in Hoops Master University. So I just wanted to get that off my chest today. And if you know that your athlete has some talent, but they need some help with their character, they need some help with their leadership, they need some help improving that confidence, they need some help improving that IQ, they need to understand how to attract the right coach, program, school, offer. If you know that this is where your athlete is, then you probably should be connecting with me and my team. But if you just are relying on your athlete's talent to take them where you would like for them to go, then you probably watch this for entertainment, but there's no way I can help you or your athlete. The scoring is not really as important as character. Wins are not really important as character. And to me, character is not as important as your integrity. And I stand on all of that, and which is why we give back and we enhance and we cultivate, we teach those individuals that we work with. All right. So that's my take on the sorry Celtics, but also my take on this coach that didn't really understand that his character could really get in the way of his talent. All right. I hope this was impactful. Hope this was educational. And I hope this was meaningful to you and your athlete. If you ever had a chance to check out my case study video, I don't know what you're waiting on. Go check it out at BeTheRightRecruit.com. And if you really want help with your athlete, let's hop on the phone and let's see how we can help them. All right? But understand, talent is not important as character. And if you don't believe me, check this out. Who in the country got a player walking that hall that's better than everybody on that team?
Yeah.
And they never understand why they're not playing.
Yeah.
And it probably started, say, for like a high school kid, if you ask them, oh, well, freshman year, I messed up on my grades or this or that.
Yep.
Well, now after you messed up on your grades, then you went to the street. So now that your whole attitude changed from wanting to be an athlete to now you want to be out here and you want to be a hot boy.
Yep.
And so now the coach then got a totally different perspective of you. So now sophomore year, you don't try out.
Now, junior year, when, you really popping, you want to play, coach ain't going to deal with you. Senior year, you like, man, it's my last year. But then, go back to freshman year, all because of, or I've seen kids literally from elementary school. Like, oh, what happened? Well, I, wasn't eligible 5th grade. And then, 6th grade, I got in trouble right prior to tryouts. Well, all that goes hand in hand. So I don't necessarily want to work with a superstar. And I have players that, former players that's playing overseas, that's played on NBA rosters, I can create those players to get there. I don't necessarily need that person that think that they're a superstar, if that makes sense.
No, I don't like them be the ones that they think they know too much.
Right.
And I tell them, if you know so much, then why am I here? Like,
why am I here? If you know all that, why am I here? So therefore, now when we're talking about that average player that's under the radar, that has the potential to be something, but those are the players. And the reason why I do what I do, because those are often the players, they only need a little tweak in the athletic side. The biggest thing is off the court. And with going back to that, recruitment diagram, that attitude, it all goes back. So I can, tweak your jump shot, or I can, tweak your Euro step or whatever you do to get to the basket, your ball handling. We can fix that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's not the reason why you're not on the team. Exactly. Right. We already identified that you're probably better than everybody on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But what else is holding you back from the team? And my job as a coach is, can I put the proper strategies in place to help you understand and get it there before it's too late?
Yeah.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Carvel Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry. This is Bless the Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Bless the Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Bless the Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Bless the Ball. Cherish the opportunities that you have. Bless the Ball. Use your mentality to master the craft. Bless the Ball. Come join our team. It's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Carvel Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.